something more fun. Dude, I just made Trader Joe's Hearts of Palm noodles. Are you aware of this shit?
I'm not.
Trader Joe's is out here inventing new parts of vegetables and shit, dude. Hearts of Palm. It was like linguine, but it's a vegetable. No carbs. I was like, what the fuck is this? Dude, I'm cooking this shit. I'm like a scientist at the Santa Fe Institute being like, I'm like, okay, well, it's very watery.
Was it good?
It seems to absorb moisture well. It was great, dude. Made some chicken Alfredo with it, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Did it have you fooled?
Yeah, I'm full now.
No, I mean, did it have you fooled? F-U-F-O-O. I can't even spell.
Oh, a jester's fool. No, no, it was not. It was not linguine. No, it was not good.
But
It's a vegetable. It's like, what are you gonna do though? You know, am I gonna start the week off by eating linguine, fettuccine Alfredo on a Monday night unloaded?
You should at no point in the week. Once a year, you should allow yourself to have a pasta dish.
Olive Garden fettuccine Alfredo.
To eat pasta at all, I feel like
I never eat
I told
pasta.
you I haven't had a milkshake in 10 years.
Okay, well, that's different.
You know,
Pasta is a hard pass. Yeah, well,
you get 1 year, you get a pasta. You get to enjoy food. I think like 3 or 4 times a year.
That's a good. I think that's a good
when
ground
you hit 30.
rule to set. Once you hit 30, the milkshakes are done. Pasta's out the window.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. You're like, I'm buckling down for year 2 of quarantine. I'm gonna be a pasta lord and make homemade.
Don't do it.
Farfadel.
Don't. It's Are you still 1 meal a day?
Yeah, I'm still 1 meal a day. It's pretty cool. Next phase is cutting out dairy, which we've talked about.
You know what, dude? I got into this. This is whatever food.
The food podcast.
I'm doing the late. Okay. So I've been doing intermittent fasting. Lost a ton of weight. Now what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do like a little bit of protein bars throughout the day. That's all I need. But then just doing a big ass meal and falling asleep on it at night.
That's what we talked about. That more or less. That's what my current strategy is. Somewhat.
I think it's good because I've been like I like self-medicate with drugs and alcohol to fall asleep every night. But if I have like a big pile of like Kung Pao chicken, good night,
yeah, dude.
I can't stay awake.
Give me a bowl of some like beef shawarma with like little tzatziki.
Yeah, dude.
Game over. Your boy's out like a fucking lantern, dude.
Isn't it crazy how much blood it takes to like digest a pile of Kung Pao or some shawarma?
Yeah, it takes a lot of your gut. It takes a lot of your natural biodome to process that shit for sure.
It's almost like you got to be burning calories while you're processing calories.
Yeah, you got to be on the Peloton while you're eating Kung Pao chicken.
Oh, that's
General Tso's chicken.
That's
what's better. Power rank the shitty, not really Chinese chicken meals.
Health wise,
just taste. You got your Kung Pao chicken. You got your General Tso's chicken. You got your orange chicken, which is like.
General Tso's and orange are basically the same.
It's basically like a kid's cuisine, more or less.
Most places that have General Tso's chicken probably won't have orange chicken.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of synonymous.
Yeah, they're very similar.
It's basically like bread. It's like a little tiny chunk of chicken, shit ton of bread covered in like honey, but not honey sauce.
Who do you think invented orange chicken? Actually, I think I know this. I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure that Panda Express invented orange chicken, and meaning like it wasn't a thing. And then maybe feel free to call me out here, but I think the story is that maybe that they were starting a business and they were like, what do Americans love? Fucking chicken nuggets.
I mean, it wasn't a dish in the Ming Dynasty, if that's what you're asking.
That's correct.
It wasn't first created like on the Great Wall.
No.
Is that what you're insinuating?
No, it was. Genghis Khan's crew was out there.
I don't think they had a deep fryer. I don't think they were breading.
They didn't. They just they fried the chicken in the blood of their enemies.
Probably.
They brought the blood to a boil. Ooh.
Yeah.
Fucking Fast and Furious.
Anytime
out
we
here,
address
dude.
anything outside, we sound like fucking idiots because we can't hear it.
Sometimes they can hear it. A motorcycle drive by. Wow. What?
Yeah.
Look, you're listening to this podcast again. But today I was sitting in this garage and I just heard a car crash straight up. Can't explain it any other way.
I love it. I
Heard
love
metal
when-
on metal, and I was like, what the fuck? And you know me, dude. I got up. I ran outside. I'm a looker, dude. I go out there and I gawk, dude. I get out there and I just look, because what the fuck are you going to do?
Gawker magazine over
My
here.
Earth too, dude. I'm standing out here on the sidewalk. I'll be
Enjoy.
that man till I die, dude.
Enjoy the show.
So I go out there to just enjoy some human suffering. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I get out there and...
You're not kidding.
Well, it's crazy. You've seen crazier things, you know? How often are you going to get a chance to go see a car crash instantly?
Oh,
after
I'm
it
out there
happens?
too, guy. I get it. Go ahead.
Also, maybe there's a dead person or person dying that needs attended to. So I'm like, okay, I should go outside. I go outside, and it's just straight up like a black murdered out, like Mercedes, rich, like very expensive Mercedes SUV, and no other car to be found. So then here I am. I'm like, fuck, dude. I could have been the judge, jury, and executioner if I had just come out here sooner. If I could have saw the car speed, but I have no idea what happened. Did Mercedes hit someone?
What did it look like?
It was just shit all over the road, dude. There was just plastic and metal all over the place. The guy was out of his car, and he seemed fine, but he was like just looking at the shit. And then eventually he just drove all over the rubble off to the side street because he's on Fountain Avenue.
What'd you talk
in
to him?
rush hour. This is like 5 o'clock. No. He was like...
So there were a lot of people out there being like...
Yeah, no, he was fine. He got out. He was fine. Somebody had just fucked up his car. But anyway, I just kind of stood there in the street, and then it was like I reached this point where I was like, well, what am I doing? Just sitting here enjoying someone's horrific day? I guess I should go back inside. He wasn't in need of medical help, and I'm just standing there laughing at something. Not laughing, but treating it like television almost.
You saw the damage.
Yeah, I did. I was like, well, this is fucked up. Anyway, so the funny thing is that hey, did you know that if you crash your car and let's just say your head explodes and there's blood everywhere and there's glass and plastic, they don't clean that shit up. They tow the car, they transport whatever bodies and wreckage there may be, if any, but then they just leave all the junk from the car in the street. I've been listening to people drive over that shit all night. People are just running over glass and plastic. Nobody gives 2 fucks. What am I going to do? I'm not going to go out there and sweep it up, dude. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. They tow the car and they leave it there.
Really?
Yeah. And did you know it's the same thing when like people kill themselves too? Do you know if someone like you have to solve that shit? This is again, welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
They hose it down.
They don't hose anything down, dude. You gotta sort
leave
that.
a fucking splat. They scoop up a body.
Buddy, don't make me have to explain to you that this is the truth.
I need a story.
Don't make me source person. No, you don't.
I need to see. You need to testify that you saw a body on the street.
Shit, my word is gold. Okay,
Prove
That's
it.
what it is, dude. If that happens, you got to call a hazmat crew to handle that shit. Like the family.
Private?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And they charge a lot of money because those guys have seen the devil and they just keep coming back every day.
Well, okay.
Spraying it down. Yeah, you're gonna pay them.
At what condition is a body so dismembered that it can't be brought in for an autopsy?
No, dude. They take the body.
But the splish
That's
splash.
the law. They have to perform. I guess they don't have. I guess it's family's choice if they want an autopsy. But it's like the car crash. That's what I'm saying. Take it out, and then whatever's left over.
Well, I thought it was
luck,
weird,
buddy. Try not to fucking forever hold this in your brain.
I thought it was weird because I did. I'm not gonna get into the story, but I did see someone get thrown from a car and helped out, got it taken care of, came back, literally saw someone get thrown out the window of a car onto their fucking face.
Yeah.
Insane. It was a traumatizing experience. I've suffered trauma. Anyway,
yeah.
If you listen to the show, you get these bits. But anyway, when I came back, there was one ambulance taking off. It was all cleaned up. I swear, within 13 minutes, it was all cleaned up.
It disappears. It's not even a memory anymore.
But but they cleaned up the puddle, guy.
Oh,
I didn't even know where it happened.
That's good. The crew around your place is good. Out here, they don't give a fuck.
But what I've heard, here's what I've heard. I've heard if it's a drug or a gang-related crime, they clean it up quick. The city will clean it up very fast.
Well, they don't want you don't want that in the public eye. But then it's also like LAPD, dude. Like if there was a gang shootout here and they like misfired and shot 4 people, LAPD would have been like, well, you shouldn't have been standing outside.
True.
So,
you think so?
What do you think? You know them to be purveyors of truth and justice for the most part.
You know what? I don't think I've never had an interaction with an LAPD police officer. I've only had one since I've been here. I've had one interaction with the Beverly Hills police. I got a story.
I've only had one, and it was one time I came down and there was a homeless guy jerking off in my carport, and I was like, I can't allow this. So, only time. I never call the police on the homeless, but I'm like, this dude's out here. He's gonna shoot somebody's eye out. He needs to be.
You didn't try to resolve it yourself at first?
I tried to suck him off. He said he wasn't into it. Called me gay. So I was like, fine, I'll call the cops, you homophobe.
What choice do you have?
What choice do I have?
Yeah.
What's your story?
So I was driving at this point. I'd been here less than a year, and I was driving to work in Beverly Hills. Okay, and I hadn't changed. I had Ohio plates. I hadn't changed anything. All right, so I get like tailed by a cop for a little bit, and I was like, all right, he's pulling me over. I don't know what I did, but he pulls me over. And he gives me shit about, oh, well, you've got Ohio plates. He's like, how long you live here for? I lie. I say like 3 months or something like that.
Been here for 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I just got here.
And then he pulls me over and I was like, oh, I thought I had 6 months. And then he says to me, this was the weird part. So anyway, everything's legit. He's pulling me over and it could be worse. But this is the thing.
Could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Could have been worse.
He's kind of like, he's got this like shit-eating grin on his face the whole time. All right.
Yeah, he's a cop.
So he says, do you have your license and registration? I give him my license and registration. He comes back and he says, when was the last time you were arrested? And I was like, and I'm thinking in my head,
is he doing mental jujitsu with you real quick?
He is.
Yeah, I've been there.
He says, when was the last time you were arrested? I was like, oh.
That's when you hit him with the choke slam and you're like, well, got out yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
And then he shoots you through the glass and says you had a gun. It turns out he was right.
He might have.
Your family doesn't know any better. They're so removed.
He might have liked it. He might have liked the joke. I don't know. But at this point, you know what? I'm in the wrong. And
yeah, tread lightly.
He says, I was like, oh, I've been arrested. He said, will you pause there? I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You can like look me up in the system or whatever. I've never been arrested. And he's like, all right, okay. And he's like, I pull out.
All right. Good answer.
I get out my insurance, and in my glove compartment is my Ohio license, which has a hole through it. Okay.
Yeah, don't you hate that? That pissed me off when I got a California license. They were going to punch a hole through your old one. I'm like, you don't own that. And they're like, we kind of do. And you're like, I think they do, kind of.
I mean, I wasn't gonna fight him on it, but anyway, they put a hole through it, and then this guy says, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's my Ohio license." And he's like, "Why is there a hole through it?" And I was like, "They put it in there." And then he's like, they only do that for people that get DUIs. I'm like, "Guy, I don't have a DUI. Look
what are
me
we
up."
doing here?
Yeah.
What do you want? The law book is tall enough that you could find something to take me to jail right now if you really wanted to. So what are we doing?
But he's got the shit-eating grin, and at this point,
either fuck me or let's go. Like,
okay, I'm not, dude. You got to understand, man. I'm playing the game. I'm enjoying this fact that he's fucking with me because at this point, he has the right to make me get out of my car, tow my car, take it, get it impounded. Because my tags are expired in Ohio, he could do that to me.
Isn't that literally like the weight of cops now? It's like, hey, we can just cause a logistical nightmare in your life. That's one of our methods to get you to do whatever.
I'm in the wrong though, man.
That's true.
You know?
It's true. You're right.
He could have done that. And he just says, all right, well, and then he's like, I forget what he says to me, but he's like, yeah, you sure you haven't been arrested? He's like really harping on this thing. I'm like, and at this point I realize I'm like, okay, all right, I'm fine. He's just playing with me now. Yeah, he's just like cat and mouse thing. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he let me go. And honestly, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, is he fucking with me? Is that professional? No. But at the same time, I'd rather be fucked with and like just kind of messed around with than a guy being like, get out of your car. We're going to tow your car, take it, get impounded. And then I got a nightmare on my hands. So Beverly Hills cop, I'm like, thank you for just kind of playing cat and mouse with me instead of just giving me a
They just want something to do, dude. Beverly Hills cops nowadays, they're like, well, we bust people who are transporting crack cocaine, and we bust Trump rallies that break out every now and then. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. Maybe some wife kills her husband. That would be a fun day. But then they're like, so see you driving by through Ohio plates. They're like, oh, buddy.
I mean, I'd probably do the same. If
I gotta stop. Let me tell you what part of town you're in now, buddy.
If there hasn't been like a civil dispute that ended in bloodshed for a while, fuck with the white dude.
Fuck with the white dude who's with Ohio plates.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, you know?
Yeah.
Do you even know where you are? You're in the most affluent neighborhood in America.
He was nice. He wasn't bad. He was a good cop, man.
What's a Beverly Hills cop like? I feel like Beverly Hills cops are all ones who have previously shot somebody, and they just kind of like they disappear for a little bit, and then they get put to some affluent neighborhood. Buddy, that's exactly what happens before you dispute that. That's 100% what happens every time.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no,
there's
dude,
no way you could even know
it is
that.
what happens. It is what happens. So if you're a cop, you shoot somebody, you just don't get to go work at GameStop. You gotta go be a cop again. That's really all you know. They just rehire them in some suburban rich area.
No, they're gonna be like, well, the cops would be shooting people everywhere.
Oh,
they'd be like, oh, I want to go work in Beverly Hills. Probably get a better check, better department, better like more money. Why not?
I'm just saying, dude. That's how it goes.
It is not. How would you know that?
It is how it goes. So for Ray, you want me to drop names?
Yeah.
Ray Tenzing, when he shot Sam Dubose in Cincinnati, where did he end up? Coleraine Police Department, still there now.
Is Coleraine nice?
It's a It's not okay. It's not necessarily always nice, but they just send them to a suburban. They take them out of a city police force and put them in a suburb. They put them in, AKA an all-white precinct.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
that's legit.
And then they stay cops.
Okay, yeah.
I'm glad I sold you on the truth of the world.
You had to.
Well, you weren't going to go read about it. So, like, what?
I don't know. I mean, I figure like if you do shoot someone, if you're a cop and you shoot someone, I think if that happens,
How many do you get?
You don't get to be a cop anymore.
How many do you get?
No, you're done. I think you should be done. If you have to like shoot someone, be like, all right, you did it. You reached the end.
Sometimes you gotta shoot somebody.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like, I'm not saying that it's like you should be ashamed and you never get the opportunity to be a cop again. I'm saying it's like, you know what, you got put in a position, a very traumatic experience where you had to like end someone's life. Maybe you only have to do it one time.
Yeah.
Maybe for the rest of it you get to just do clerical shit.
It's kind of like dining and dashing at a restaurant. Like you can do it once and probably go back. You do it twice, they're gonna remember your name. People are going to be watching out for you. You're not allowed to go to that Steak and Shake anymore.
Ooh, dining and ditching at a Steak and Shake is like...
That's rough.
That's rough.
Everybody loses.
You ever dined and dish?
I've dined and dashed at a Steak and Shake several times.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Well, I was like 16. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm not
Pay for your meal. That's what I want you to do.
I was 16. I was a shithead.
All right, fair enough.
That's what happens.
How does that go down? I've never done it.
You're at Steak and Shake and no one comes to give you a check after a fucking hour. So you say, all right, well, I got other shit. I got drugs to do.
Oh.
And beers to drink.
You were a cool 16-year-old.
No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't that cool. But
it
was a thing. It was literally like, it's been an hour and friends are like, fuck this. All right? Like, we've been sitting here forever. Just ran out because I was a shitty 16-year-old. That's
somewhat justified, though. You kind of did justify it. You know, you pulled it back a little bit.
Dude, I was at a German restaurant yesterday, and I was sitting on like a beer patio, and it was a solid 45 minutes. I couldn't get anyone to give me a check. I couldn't pay. I was spending 45 minutes to pay, and I'm sitting there like, I'm flagging. I never do a flag down, dude. I never flag people down at a restaurant. I think that's cunty, and I don't like to do it. But I had to flag this motherfucker down. Well, what happened was, dude, shift change. Dude clocked out by the time we left. He was gone. So then he didn't convey. So then I'm out here. Then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm running free right now.
You can kind of slide off.
That's what I was thinking.
No one's on the hook.
I didn't do it because I'm a grown-up
You should have listened to your 16-year-old, Zach.
I more so didn't do it because I want to go back to this German restaurant. But I just sat there like, nobody knows what's going on here. I can just slip out into the wind. You know, but I didn't. I had to flag someone down, And then they instantly gave me the check and I left. But I was sitting there like waiting for a solid 45 minutes to leave, watching a line form like down the street of people trying to get to the table. And I'm like sitting there like, wow, this is rather funny. I'm sitting here watching a line of people trying to get a table that I'm also trying to leave.
You should have slid out, dude. If they're acting like you don't exist, it's be like, watch me. You'll notice my existence when I try to ditch this check.
When I bounce on an $80 tab. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, dude. They'll be like, hey, that guy, get back here.
So
all of a sudden, you'll sort of like float back into existence, man.
That was solo, by the way. I got 2 schnitzels and 7 beers by myself.
You were not.
No,
Get
dude,
out.
I didn't do that.
I was going to say.
No.
That would be like, they just wouldn't want to be near you. They'd be like, that guy, just get him out of here.
This guy's he
Just ignore
smells
him.
like grease and beef jerky. Just get him out of here.
And it would be their fault for serving you all that. Imagine having. I wonder what the saddest meal someone's ever had at a restaurant.
You don't want to go down this road.
Have you seen it?
Have I seen it? Probably.
You know what I think the worst guy is?
I've seen people eating alone at a Johnny Rockets. So you tell me.
I got
to
it.
be up there.
I think what's worse than the guy. I can't dine alone. I've heard people say they loved it. Like
It's awesome.
They like to get a meal alone.
It's awesome.
I don't like it. I really don't.
Dude, fuck people who tell you it's weird.
To
Like
sit at
sometimes
a table. What do you do while you wait for your food?
just fuck. I don't know.
What?
Write in a notebook.
Really?
Read the news.
I guess that could be
sit there.
nice.
It is nice, dude. I sometimes I would do it a lot. Like when I was. Often I'd be like after work trying to go to like a comedy open mic, and then I'm just like killing time. I'm like, I gotta eat a meal, so I'm just like eating alone.
You could write some jokes.
Diner.
You could throw some funnies.
Yeah, you
in
can do
a-
anything. That's
Okay.
why people make you feel weird about it, because they're insecure about themselves. They can't go eat alone because they have friendship issues.
I'm just bad at time management. That's really it.
Is that it? You just spend
Probably.
forever there.
I just can't use my time wisely. My waiting time. I guess I could. There's nothing I can do sitting at a dinner table that would be productive.
You can't write anything. You can't.
What am I gonna write?
What? Write your fucking.
My what?
Write your autobiography that gets turned into an HBO Max original limited series.
I guess you're right. I do kind of do some autobiographical.
You're like, we don't. This is garbage. You're white. This is boring. It's mostly Indiana.
I think I could have.
You're not Ron Howard, so we're not giving you this deal.
I think you could do 8 episodes of 8 different stories that I have in my life that would make a good like Netflix succinct season. I think I've got 8 stories. I got 8 good stories that I could
Be everybody
tell.
on the planet, though. You know.
I'm just saying I got 8. I can't vouch for everyone. I just
There's an
say I could fill
electrician
8.
in Afghanistan who's like, yeah,
Oh,
you
I'm
wanna
sure
hear
he
some
could-
shit, dude. I'll give you 7 seasons of
No,
shit.
I'm not comparing myself to the Afghani electrician. I'm just saying. I'm
There
just
it
saying.
is.
The
There
Afghani
it is.
electrician?
There it is.
Yeah. All right.
3 weeks in a row we've done this, dude.
All right.
Love it.
We'll talk.
There's nothing to talk about.
All right.
The jury's been called.
I think I could do. You know what? I'm gonna raise the bar. I think I could do Bertov Chronicles season 1 and 2. Fuck it, 12 episodes a season.
No one's watching this show.
I got my dine and ditch story.
Oh,
I got my. It's funny. I did say I'd never
you
dine
should
and
start a
ditch before, but I didn't.
podcast.
I maybe. I'll think about it.
Dude, speaking of Afghani electricians, I was reading
what? Where are you going with
I was
this?
reading a fascinating article today about Osama bin Laden's son, Omar. Well, he's just a painter now. He's just a painter, and he draws landscapes of the American Southwest, from like 1800 to 1850. He's obsessed with like cowboys and Indian American folklore.
He was very. I mean, he was. Is estranged? Is that the word?
I mean, he's not in jail or dead, so yeah, he was pretty removed from Osama, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Osama really because I saw a picture. It was so interesting to me. It was Osama bin Laden on family vacation in like Iran. And it was like they had like a really nice looking family, very large, nice looking family.
Dude,
he kind of went rogue. He's a black sheep.
Have you ever seen the photos of Osama bin Laden, or the video of him just like watching TV in his house? Like he's just sitting watching like American news in his house, like eating, I think, cereal out of a bowl. If I can find this video, I'm obviously going to play it.
Just being a human.
just being human. Like, he loved Friends, like the show Friends, I guess he was big into. I swear to God. And he would also just sit there and smoke weed. He would just smoke his fucking bong, I guess. This man bombed the Twin Towers, who essentially, the lifestyle I described is that of a manager at a Hot Topic. And this man disrupted the free world as we know it. Just smoking weed, watching Friends. And then eventually they stormed his place and killed him. Allegedly. What? Is it weird that he was buried at sea? Where the fuck's an ocean around Afghanistan? Tell me.
Is there an Indian Ocean? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. We're not Tim Dillon.
I'm just saying, like, what the fuck is... That was like instant when they were like, we buried him at sea. I think I was 16 and I was like, listen, I know I'm pretty dumb, but I don't think there's an ocean around Afghanistan. How dumb am I? Is it there? I hope not.
It's okay. So I think you found him in Pakistan, right?
Yeah. Pakistan was harboring him. They won't claim it, but
at this point, it's funny. Like, all right, well, I agree. Like, I think it's just maybe he was already dead, maybe something. But at this point, it's all.
You think there would be proof?
I think it's all theater anyway.
Good point.
And at least it's all out of my control. So I was just like, oh, it's like now we're gonna do this thing on the news where we say Osama bin Laden died, and Osama bin Laden was entirely like. It's also like, was he entirely like? Did he come up with the entire plot to?
It seems like it.
Yeah, so we're told. Everything's like so we're told. So it's like if you're incredulous of the second story, you got to be incredulous of the first.
Well, listen,
right?
You know, we gave him a big confidence boost when we just funded his entire army in the 80s to fight the Russians. You know, he was like, listen, maybe I do got potential. You know, someone gave him a shot. He's like, I can do a lot with this. And then he turned on the U.S. You know, what are you going to do? But one time I went into a head shop at a mall, and I swear to God, the first thing I heard was this guy at the counter talking to the employee saying, yeah, so it's all a lie. Bin Laden's been in the United States doing dialysis in 2003.
Doing dialysis?
Like, he's on dialysis, whatever. And I was just like, and it's stuck with me my whole life. Thinking about the idea of Bin Laden living in the United States. He moved to the U.S. 2 years after 9/11. He's like, yeah, it's cooled off. I can probably pop back in so I can get my kidneys taken care of.
It's one of those things where I don't like. Why are you thinking about Osama bin Laden so much, guy in the mall? Oh yeah, okay. No, I thought you were asking me, and I was like, listen, I got. Well, fed. You too.
Well, I got fed the article about Omar bin Laden.
Got you thinking about bin Laden.
When's he gonna get a podcast? Holy shit! Spotify's gonna give Omar bin Laden a podcast any minute now.
I heard they're actually putting him on the Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama podcast.
Barack Obama Thunder Road
He's
to Freedom.
He's the third renegade, dude.
Thunder Road to Equality and Freedom podcast.
Yeah.
Good old Bruce just got popped for a Dewey back in New Jersey.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. And then it's all of a sudden his podcast comes out and all the charges get dropped. It's like, listen.
Did they really? Is that a true story?
Oh, yeah.
I saw. We got to give the heart.
I think he even went to Zoom court. God, dude, to be some intern at that place to record that Zoom call at the government of Bruce Springsteen on his DUI. God, I got to give
national treasure. I got to give the Hard Times a shout out. They said it was like there was an article. The headline was opinion: Bruce Springsteen should be allowed to drive drunk. I was like, I didn't realize that was it was written.
I just assumed he has been his whole life. Honestly, the songs are that of a man who's riding dirty all the time.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a man with a lot of pain that, probably drives a truck. So
I disagree. I think it's the opposite. He's so fucking famous now that, like, it's the opposite of pain. He thinks he's untouchable. He thinks he's like Jersey's Jesus. He's Jersey Jesus. So he's like, I'll get fucked up, drive around Red Bank, New Jersey in my truck. That's what we did.
If he can get every citizen or anyone that lives in New Jersey to admit that they'd be honored to die in a drunk driving accident by the hand of Bruce Springsteen, he should be able to do it.
It didn't stick because the entire state of New Jersey cannot throw stones at someone for getting a DUI. You can't. It would be a mockery. So he even got it. He's like, they don't give a fuck. Half of them got it leaving my show. My music has caused more DUIs than any fucking song in the history of mankind, probably. And you're gonna come at me, try to pop me, give me fine. I'll pay. What's the ticket? It's like 7,000. Okay. Is the Zoom call over yet? Bye, guys. I gotta go record an episode on equality and police reform with Barack Obama.
How do you get popped?
I don't know. He was just, I guess someone drove up
Checkpoint
to him.
or just...
Literally, it was like right around the time that Jeep commercial came out. This is old news, but nonetheless.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not old, but you know, he's got the pie. He's got the Renegades and Rustlers.
It's interesting,
Podcast.
it's interesting if you don't, like, DUIs are so forgivable, right? But if you, and I guess it depends...
They're so forgivable that our country has set up a for-profit system to handle them.
What is that?
Essentially.
Mothers
It's
Against
like
Drunk
7
Driving?
different people make money off DUIs. You lose a lot of money because you're nobody. They fuck you. You're getting, like, several lawyers are going to make money. The court's going to charge you a shit ton of fees. The government's going to get out of that. Like,
Are you a DUI apologist?
I don't think that's... I'm not not.
You're like sympathizing with the drunk drivers here.
I believe firmly. This is something I've always believed, that you should never, ever get caught driving drunk. I've always believed that.
Nice.
So
Classy. Classy.
So it would be wrong of me, I think. You can't be going around being Bruce Springsteen. He's probably listening to his own music too, just fucked up, singing Thunder Road to himself.
You think so?
Probably
Is he
ran over a
married?
horse. That no one even hear about that. Yeah, he's married.
Is he? Okay.
He's a man of the Lord now, I think. I think Bruce went God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't support it. But
I just lost respect for him, dude.
listen, I mean, Bruce is undeniable from the start of his career to literally born in the USA. All those albums are fantastic. After that, he's kind of just a commercial now, which sucks, but that's how it is. He's not even a real person now. I'll put the cover of his latest album on here, and it's laughable.
Why?
Because the man is out here dressing up like he's in fucking Red Dead Redemption, out to kill a bear and skin one in the deep wilderness. Like, there's snow everywhere, and he's got like a giant Sherpa jacket, and there's a lot of horse imagery lately in his music. It's just
Very candid.
he's
or
gone.
non-candid.
He's really gone into this crazy direction of just leaning into, like, how can I be America personified
Okay.
and sell that back to people?
Hey, man.
Or I'm a hater. Both can be true.
The thing is, if we'll never know, because we'll never reach that level of
never
success.
gonna find out.
But like once you get to a certain point, you're probably artistically, you get to a point where you're like, I kind of said everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Now I want to
make money.
I want $1 billion.
Yeah, you be Iggy Pop. He's like, yeah.
I want to privately own a slave.
Yeah.
That's where you
Right?
get.
That's where he gets.
I want to get to it's like Epstein, you know what I mean? He's like, you get to a certain point where you're like, I just bought everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do crimes. I'm going to try to have experiences
Yeah.
that are worldwide known as horrific things to do. I'm going to see if I have enough money that I can get away with it.
I'm going to try and do them. It's like, how can I raise the bar of my life? Oh, I guess I can try to commit new types of crimes people don't even know about yet.
Ooh, yeah. You need to create legislation around the bad shit you're doing.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's how you're a top dog.
I think that's like a lot of like hackers do.
It's like Bruce Springsteen driving drunk, and then Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood, basically one and the same in that category.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's a crime? What's not a crime? What's something you could possibly do that isn't technically wow? Is there anything you could possibly think of that is really bad but isn't technically a crime? I'm not going to attempt
right now because it would obviously be very hard.
Well, I know there is a lot of things. Have you heard of common law?
I mean, yeah.
It's like the idea that like there are certain like fraud or something like that. It's this very like overarching thing that gives the courts a lot of leeway to kind of, jurisdict whatever they see fit. And then after that case, you have like Roe v. Wade, right? There's laws put in place after Roe v. Wade based on the case. So you have these very broad laws. Like, for instance, you know what it is? If you watched on HBO, I Love You Now Die, if you coerce or you coax someone to commit suicide, are you guilty of first degree murder?
On a social media app. A very important distinction to make there. But yeah, boy, talking about using powers for evil right there, thinking of new crimes. What's the newest crime has to be, it's going to be something like I accidentally sold one of my children trying to buy Bitcoin. Like and then they're like, okay, we're going to have to invent a type of family crime to put this guy in jail.
I could see there being some sort of a loophole where you end up like giving up a child for adoption and make like $4,500. So people will just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's like no crime against it, but for some like weird loophole, you end up getting a check for $4,500 if you have a child and give it up for. I'm just throwing shit out
like
there.
Receiving stolen property almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'd be fun. Again, this is going to be another great HBO Max documentary, since that's what our life is now. It's the guy who accidentally went on the Silk Road and sold one of his children for Ethereum.
Accidentally sold, packaged them up, put them in a box, like, oops.
Well,
whoopsie.
Someone came in his house and stole the kid. They got their property, you know?
Oh, okay. Well, poor guy.
It sucks. You got
fuck around, get your kid stolen.
Don't use Robinhood. I don't know.
Don't use the Silk Road. Have you ever been on one of those sites?
I went on the Silk Road back in the day, yeah.
What'd you find?
I should not have said that. But
it's not a crime to go on the Silk Road.
No, it's not, but it's not something that the hard drives need to have on record of me saying. But
yeah, it might put you on a list, but like,
well, yeah, back in the day.
You probably got put on the list when you went there.
Oh, this is so long ago. Maybe I'm still on it.
Throwing it incognito?
I didn't go on it. I didn't know how to get on it, but I knew a friend who was... he knew how to get on it. So I was like, I want to see what this shit's all about. And I looked, and it was, I didn't see anything like horrific, but it was more so like it was scary in the sense that it was like an underdeveloped website.
That's what I'm saying.
It just didn't look good.
Unsettling.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
What is that? Why doesn't this look like Amazon? I don't understand.
Isn't it weird if it did have like, border radius 2 pixels or like a nice Helvetica font or something?
Yeah. Wait a second. What web designer worked on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're implicit.
It's funny.
Complicit.
It's funny because I watched this it's called the Dark Side of the Silk Road, which is kind of a funny name, but it's one of the best videos on YouTube. And it's the story of the Silk Road. And the Silk Road guy, he put up a job listing for a junior developer. Isn't that crazy? He just hired someone on Indeed. He was basically like, I'm looking kind of like for an intern. Imagine being the intern that's like looking for the first job, got a CS degree, and they're getting out of college. Like, okay. And then I wonder how long it takes you to be like, oh no, what?
Yeah.
This is
worse than a pyramid scheme.
You see 10 grand for a person in a box. You're like, is this for real?
What's going on here?
Yeah. You're 19. You're like, I assume it's legit. It was on Indeed.
Why are there so many photos of wooden crates on this website I'm working on? What's going on here?
Yeah. No, I mean, it must have been. It's just interesting that like he did scout regular people to work for him.
You gotta hire somebody, dude. He should. Yeah. Speaking of ZipRecruiter,
sponsor of the show.
That's how we can get ZipRecruiters. We can start. It's like, wait, are you looking for someone to help you design the UX of your child trafficking alt website? ZipRecruiter.com helps both employers and employees find great work.
Well, here's the thing. This is the interesting thing about that story. Like, if you look, that kid's a nerd. He's a nerd.
Yeah.
He's a nerd like me, dude. Just like a guy that knows how to build websites. Way more intelligent.
Slightly evil spirit, maybe?
And way more intelligent. But that being said, guy, he just liked building stuff. And then you build a platform that's like completely anonymous, and you aren't thinking about the implications. At what point do you get building the website and really start seeing what your clientele, like what's the first thing sold on the Silk Road where you're like, what have I done?
It's like
it's probably just like weed. It's probably like weed back in like 2014.
It's like a full-size plush stuffed animal, but it has no packaging or tags or anything. And it sells for like $140,000.
That's probably it. You win. You got it.
No.
Yeah.
What is this? And he's just like, well, you know.
That's an easy one to look the other way on.
That's freedom.
Collectibles.
Yeah, it's just this guy loves full-size plush animals.
Yep.
That's what he's into. I don't ask that's how people get locked in this thing of like, I don't ask questions. So it's all good.
Yeah,
I'm not
turn
complicit.
a blind eye. Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This was a reality I came up with. It's risky. But you got to take risks in the podcast game.
Yeah, let's go into this alternate reality real quick.
This is something I was thinking about. I was thinking if I fell in love, and this would be I don't know what's going to happen in my life, but I would love this thought experiment if I fell in love with a trans woman, okay? And the Thanksgiving that I bring her home to meet my parents and my family, I was thinking about this. I'm like, this would be the greatest moment of my life. Bringing my trans girlfriend, who's probably like pretty female passing, because that's more what I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
But bring her home and then just like watch my family react to it, and then it's kind of like, I mean, it would be fun, probably be fun for her too, just to wait and just like wait for my mom, wait for my dad, wait for my brother, just like wait for the first person to be like, are they going to say anything? Like, are they going to be like, they're just like, I know they'd be uncomfortable, but they would all just like wait for the moment where I wonder how they would approach it. If they ever would approach it, if I would marry her, just move on, like get it, like go on with my life. At one point, are they like, would they just say nothing? Or do you think they'd speak up?
This would start, basically what's happened is, I know this family dynamic well.
Okay.
No one will say anything. They'll all secretly talk about it behind your back afterwards and be like, well, we love him, we support him, we just want to be happy, all that. And then those conversations will happen for the whole, like, your whole relationship, until one day it'll bubble up just to the point that you're with your dad going to Home Depot or something, and you're in the truck, and he's like, so be honest with me. She got like a dick? Are you like, what's...
He would.
It's okay. We just want to know. Like,
they
would just want... I like the idea of like, I don't know that your family is like this at all. They're not. The idea of a family being so far behind and so backwards that their son brings home a trans person to Thanksgiving, and like the only question that they can get out is like, does this mean you're gay or something? Or like, are you gay?
They're just so backwards.
Like,
yeah.
Wait, are you gay or not? That's all we want to know. If you are, that's fine. You're like, well, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that. It's like a spectrum. He's like, if you're gay, that's fine. You're my son.
You know what I'd say? You know what I'd say? I just say, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I am. In your eyes.
For the intents and purposes of what you need to understand about me, the answer is sure.
Yeah.
You know?
And then, depending on the night, yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny, though, because, like, dude, in reality, though,
we're going to buy these propane tanks or not? We're going to sit in the car talking.
Yeah.
Jib-jabbing about whether or not I want a giant dick in my mouth.
We got steaks that need grilled, and we have no propane. Yeah, it's like, and then it brings up the question. It's like, what else do you want to know about what I'm into?
Yeah, doors open now. Yeah. What else do you want to know about? You want to know,
right? Because that's it. It's like, now if you're asking questions, if you have any questions, I will answer them, provided it's not too graphic about my wife. Yeah. Go crazy, Dad. Let's get to know each other.
Yeah, let's open these doors that's taken us 38 years to pry open.
You gotta be careful though, because then your dad could come back at you, tell you what he's putting
like,
up his butt.
This is good that we're having this conversation. Then it just turns to the end of Call Me By Your Name, because he's like, I am also gay. And I hate your mom. She hates me.
You misinterpreted the end of that movie. A lot of people did. I don't think that's the way that... I don't think the dad... Either way, movie podcast.
He's gay.
He loved his wife.
Army, of course he did.
Platonically? Plato? If you get hard, you come inside a woman, you make a baby, you love her.
They all three could have been
and
gay.
And you're not gay.
They all three could have been gay. The guy they invited to come tutor this young boy ended up wanting to cannibalize women. So they can all be gay together. It's fine.
Dude, free Army Hammer, man. A guy can have a fetish, can have a fantasy. Jeez. Why would someone leak that, dude? I'm so disappointed in us for like there's no... It's like kind of funny. Dude, if I've said some freaky shit, dude. You're gonna cancel me?
You gotta...
I'm into weird shit. I like taboo shit.
Listen.
Relax.
You gotta...
Free Army.
I agree. I don't want to kink shame Army Hammer. But at the same time, you know, he wanted to eat his wife's rib. So, like, what are you just going to let some guy going around talking about wanting to eat people's ribs?
Sure. It's
until
private.
It's too late.
It's no one's business.
Until it's too late.
If that's their fetish, it's none of your business. Like we said, people reenact rapes. Fucking chill.
Yeah.
It's like,
we talked about this, though. When you start removing parts of your body as part of the kink, that's where the line is. I'm sorry.
It's a fantasy.
I'm sorry I'm as progressive as anybody, but if you're removing ribs to throw on the big green egg, come on.
He's not. He did not do that.
I know he didn't, but I think the point is that, like, he seems to have an interest in doing that. So what is it? Like, he's just going to have this fantasy for his whole life and never act on it? So what happens if he acts on it?
The fucking thought police.
A girl
the fantasy
dies.
police.
A woman dies.
You can't.
Someone's daughter gets cannibalized and gets her blood drank by calling by your name.
Well, that fucking happens then, if it happens. But you can't throw a guy in jail for wanting to for having a
He's
fantasy.
not in jail. He's not in jail. No one's throwing him in jail. Everyone's just like, hey, you're a fucking creep. We don't want to work with you. That's democracy in action, dude. That's
I love
a free
you, Army.
market.
I actually grew to like him.
Do you like a free market or not?
Fair. He didn't go to jail. You're right. I'm wrong.
Let's have him on the pod.